God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love. 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 God, you are my joy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love, 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 my joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life.
Hello, hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. It is so very good to be here with you as we gather together to celebrate the magnificence and significance of the presence and power of God operating in, through, and as us. Let us begin, as we always do, by moving into prayer. And I want to share a reading today from the Daily Word. And the word today is positivity. The affirmation: through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. I've heard it said, most people are about as happy as they have made their minds up to be. These words show me the importance of positivity and how an upbeat attitude can keep me afloat upon the rough waters of life. Positivity helps me see the world as full of joy and possibility. Difficulties may arise, but my confident faith in the goodness of God gives me the power to cross the stormy seas, to find calm waters and the warmth of sunshine. The light of God surrounds, enfolds, and uplifts me. When I center my thoughts on the divine within, I feel equipped to meet all challenges. God's indwelling grace sees me through the stormy days. Even if squalls of sadness toss me about, by faith, I will outlast the gales and reach calm seas. Again, through positivity, I can do all things through the divine presence within me. And so from this place of awareness, I invite you to get still, to close your eyes, and let's take a collective breath in and a collective breath out. Sinking deeper in mind and centering our awareness here and now, we breathe in and we breathe out. One more time, we take a conscious breath in and a conscious breath out. There is only one mind, only one power, only one presence that is working in all, through all, and as all. There is one life. That life is Mother, Father, God. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. And that life is my life now. That life is your life now. That life is our life now. That life is all life now. It is the life of every plant, every animal, every insect. It is the life of every planet, every moon, every sun, every star, every galaxy, every hair on your head, every blade of grass, every grain of sand. It is the life of all, and it is our life now. That means that what God is in the large, we are in the small. That means that God is right here now where we are. There is no spot where God is not, for God neither comes nor goes. It is always now and always here and always now and always here. Divine intelligence, answers, solutions are always here and always now. Grace, ease, freedom, joy, peace, abundance are always here and always now. And as I recognize this profound truth about the divine, I recognize a profound truth about you and a profound truth about me. We are one with God and one of God. We are intimately and intricately connected with the divine. We are rooted and grounded in God. We can never be separate from our source. And as I recognize the power of this oneness, as I recognize the reality of this oneness, I speak from this oneness. I speak from an awareness of this oneness, and I speak in faith on my behalf and on behalf of every soul that is listening or may be listening at any point in time. This gathering that we call the weekend service is blessed and is a blessing. This gathering that we call the weekend service is prosperous and prospering. This gathering that we call the weekend service is enlightening and enlivening. And so right here and right now, we declare, we make a decision. We plant the flag in consciousness right here and now that we will leave here better and better and better than when we walked in. We plant the flag in consciousness right here and right now that we will leave here expanded. We plant the flag in consciousness right here and right now that we will leave here understanding ourselves in a new, powerful, and more profound way. We plant the flag in consciousness that we will leave here uplifted. We will leave here in joy. We will leave here remembering that all things are possible because we know who we are and we know whose we are. We know that we are the very magnificence of God. So it is with joy and thanksgiving that I now release this prayer. I release it back into the law, which is always in operation. This law of life is always responding to us and becoming in, through, and as us based on the pattern of thought that we have provided. Well, we are clear about what has been provided through this prayer. And so we know we will reap the benefits. We know we will experience the benefits. We know we will live prosperously in ease and in effortlessness. So it is from this place of awareness that I now confidently release this prayer. And with confidence, we say, amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Yes, yes, yes. So it is so wonderful to be here with each and every one of you as we are gathered here for the weekend service. I am Pastor Greg.
I'm Pastor Yolanda.
And we're so happy that you've chosen to be here with us on this Sunday. If you are a first-time guest, we are happy that you're here, and we know that something will be done, something will be said to support you in living an empowered life. Some will support you in thriving in your life. When you come to CSC, the first time you come, you're a guest, but when you come back, you're family. And so as a first-time guest, you have joined the CSC family. If you are a first-time guest, the information you see here on your screen is how you access your digital connection card. The digital connection card is how you can stay in touch with us and we can stay in touch with you. And so if you just text welcome to that phone number, 347-472-1078, you'll receive an automated reply with a link. Click that link. It'll take you to the digital connection card, enter your information. We just need your name and your email, and then you'll be added to the mailing list, and you'll receive our weekly email that goes out on Fridays and all other correspondence that we send out throughout the week, letting you know about what's happening at CSC. And again, we are confident that something will be done or said that will support you in your life, in thriving and living an empowered life. You can feel free to let us know in the comments where you're connecting in from, because you may find that there is someone in your city, your state, or your country that is connected right here and now with you as well. I also want to say, if you are outside of the United States, here in the post, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, you'll see in the description of the post the link to the digital connection card is available there as well, so that you can access the digital connection card and join the mailing list. So now is a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful moment for us to tap into our news and updates so that we can move forward with the meditation, the music, and the message. Every Wednesday morning, we gather together for the Momentum Prayer Call. The Momentum Prayer Call is your opportunity to continue the momentum that we create here on Sundays. It's also a wonderful way to begin your day at 7 a.m. With the words of prayer, with the consciousness of prayer, knowing that prayer works, and as I love to say, is working at CSC. And so we invite you to join us. Use the phone number that you see there, enter the code, and we share a reading, we pray, we move on with our day. It only takes about 10 minutes. If you're unable to make the prayer call live, every prayer is recorded. So you can use that playback number. Even right now, you could dial that playback number, enter the access code, and the most recent prayer will play. If you are outside of the country, we encourage you to use the web address that you see there on your screen so that you can access the prayer live. If you have a prayer request, we encourage you to send that prayer request to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. We are always holding the entire community in our hearts and our minds, knowing the highest and best for you. And we recognize that you may have a specific prayer request for yourself or a loved one. By all means, please send that in. As we shared last Sunday with Healing Sunday, we know that prayer is working, and it's wonderful to hear from you, not only with your prayer requests, but also to hear how prayer is working in your life and in the life of your family. So send those in to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org, and know that as you're sending in your prayer requests, affirm that I cast this burden on the mind of God and I go free. And when you go free, what you are making yourself free and available to is insight and information. What you're making yourself free and available to is to receive what is the next thing for you to do, because we recognize that prayer is answered through us. And so there is always something for us to do as we are in the posture of praying for an outcome. Our study series of the month. This is powerful. Many of you may remember in 2020, as we entered into the quarantine phase of the pandemic, I wrote a blog post and we shared a bunch of different sermons in this blog post, sermons and sermon series, sermons to get you through the storm. And I was reminded of this. I think this really dovetails wonderfully with the sermon series that we're beginning this month, but just in general, as a reminder, what I've done is created a specific playlist with sermons from that blog. So the blog was a sermon series, pulled out several sermons, and I think this will be helpful. You can find this on our YouTube channel, and I just want to highlight some of the sermons. We start out with I Trained for This from the Mission Possible Part 2 series. There's Gotta Be Another Way, PY's powerful sermon from the Renew Your Mind series. From the Matrix Revisited series, we have Walking the Path. From the Unconditional Living series, another one of PY's sermons, The In Between. From Well-Being Abounds, Shut Down Your Reactors. From the Spiritual Economics series, Somebody Call Security. From the Infinite Way series, Be at Peace. And another series from early on in our time at CSC, The Eye of the Storm. All of these sermon series, again, I think dovetail wonderfully with some of what we're going to be talking about this month, but also I think are really supportive to remind us all of the powerful teachings here at CSC, and to remind us all of the posture that we need to hold as we are experiencing multiple crises on a collective, community, and individual level. We need to come back to what is true, right? And so that's what this playlist is all about. And so we highly encourage you to tap into this. Again, you can go right to the homepage of our YouTube channel and click play. You'll find the playlist there, and continue to study and grow as a result. Every third Sunday is God Talk Sunday. The God Talk is your opportunity to ask questions. What we know to be true on this New Thought Metaphysical path, you will have questions. What we know to be true is that this path really is a lot of unlearning, because you're unlearning so much of the traditional religious dogma that you may have been raised in or exposed to. And so to fully embrace this path and to fully live this path, there's some questions that you're going to have. And so you may hear something said in a sermon that brings a question. You may hear something in the meditation or in a previous service or video. And so we're here to answer those questions. It's a safe space, but at the same time, the God talk is raw. It's real, right? And so we don't hold back. No question is off limits, but we are absolutely love to have this time. We love to have this space. And so if you would like to be at the God Talk, you need to be on our mailing list. The information, the Zoom link and password is shared with the mailing list. And so we've shared how you can join the mailing list earlier. You'll see that again throughout the stream. The next God Talk will be happening on March 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every fourth Sunday is Healing Sunday. We gather together on the fourth Sunday, and we have a very specific healing spiritual mind treatment for healing, whether that's healing in your body, your mind, your relationship, your finances, etc. And so we encourage you to remember that, put that in your calendar. You want to be with us on the fourth Sunday for the weekend service. Healing is happening in powerful and profound ways in our community, as we shared last Sunday. And we'll continue to share those stories of healing because it expands the faith of the community, expands our sense of possibility and our sense of expectation of what is possible for each and every one of us. And that concludes our announcements and our news and updates for this Sunday. And so we have the opportunity now to move into the posture of meditation as we are led in the meditation experience by Pastor Yolanda.
Yes, it is time for the meditation experience. You see, we at CSC believe very specifically our relationship to God, what it is, where it is, and how it operates. And so we take time every Sunday to remember what is true, to take the breath, to let go of anything that is unlike love, that is unlike power, that is unlike ease, and slip into the truth as we know it. We like to say you can read all of the sacred text, and we encourage you to do that. But until you have a direct experience of God within yourself, for yourself, it is just information. And we want to do more than have information. We want to live the truth that we know. We want to embody the truth that we read. And so every Sunday we do just that. It's all about truth here at CSC. And so there's nothing to fear when you know the truth within you. You know the truth that operates in, through, and as you. And so this month's affirmative thought to remind us of the truth is, God goes with me wherever I go. God, infinite intelligence, wisdom, intuition, whatever you want to call it, goes with me wherever I go. And knowing this, I am never disconnected from answers. I'm never disconnected from peace. I'm never disconnected from the path that I should go. And so this month, we're going to affirm that God goes with me wherever I go. Whether I appear to be on the mountaintop or in the valley, God is there. And as I remember this, I turn away from the fear and I turn in the direction of truth. And I let the truth move in, through, and as me. So let's do that, shall we? Let's experience the breath relaxing us. Let's experience God moving in, through, and as the breath. Let's experience the connection that can never be severed. We fear not, for we know where God is. It is moving in, through, and as us. Now, let's prepare. Go ahead and allow your feet to be comfortably resting on the floor, seated upright in a chair, on your sofa, but just allowing the body to make contact with the seat beneath you, reminding yourself that the seat, the chair, the sofa is a representation of God holding you. It's a representation that in this moment you're never alone. It's a representation that all the answers reside within you. And so let this chair hold you so that you can relax and let go. From this place, plant the palms on the tops of the thighs, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over hips, and just settle in to that alignment as we have a long line of energy from the soles of the feet all the way up and out the crown of the head. And now, bring yourself even more present. Look around the room. Notice where you are. You're not in the past. You're not in the future worried. You're right here. And in this very now moment, God is here as well. So, allow your eyelids and your breath to take you inward, closing the eyes and following the path of the breath into the low belly. Just notice it, for it wants to find that easy path to your peace. For God is here. God goes with you wherever you go. Let that divine connection go into the breath and into the body. Beautiful, everyone. Now, let's take conscious control of the breath, and we're going to inhale and exhale a little differently this time. We're going to breathe in through the nostrils, close the lips, and exhale through the nostrils. We're taking the quickest route to peace today. In and out through the nostrils. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then nice and easy through the nostrils, release the breath for a count of 4, and then settle in where God is for a count of 4. Ready? Let's begin. Breathing in. Hold for 4. And when you're ready, exhale through the nostrils for 4. And then sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the power, into the peace, into the ease for 4. Again, let that breath drop into the low belly. We're connecting the breath as we inhale for a count of 4. Feel the breath rise through the heart center all the way up. Hold at the top. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the breath, feeling it drop deeper and deeper. And then sink into that place where God is. Again, inhale through the nostrils, noticing that breath that it enters the nostrils is cool. As we hold and then it circulates and then it's released, it's warmer on the exhale. Follow that path of breath and ease. Take a few rounds of this breath on your own, in and out through the nostrils, each time sinking deeper and deeper and deeper. We know where God resides. God is wherever we are, and God goes with us wherever we go. Last round on your own. Notice that there is more stillness within you, and notice that there is more peace within you. Let's take that knowing. Let's take God into our feet. Relax the feet. Energy gathered up underneath the soles of the feet is making its way across the ankles now. Relax the ankles. Energy flows across the shins and the calves. You feel it, allow it. Relax the shins and the calves. Energy flows across the knees. We realize our flexibility. We are grateful for it. And we allow God to be right here now. Relax the knees. Energy flows across the thighs, the glutes, the hamstrings. We place no resistance on these muscles. We just relax the thighs, the glutes, the hamstrings. In fact, go ahead and surrender the lower half of your body to the seat where you are. You're being held. No need to fight or hold on. Just surrender. Energy now is gathered at the base of the spine. Let that energy flow on the breath, moving in and up. Breathing it in through the nostrils, circulating through the body. And when you're ready, releasing the breath through the nostrils. You notice the relaxation and the energy rise. Inhale. Circulating. When you're ready, releasing the breath through the nostrils, relaxing and allowing. Inhaling up. Circulating. Releasing and relaxing. Let that energy flow in and up. Exhale when you're ready. Relax and allow. Let that energy again flow in and up. Exhale and allow. There's a beautiful rhythm flowing now of the inhale and the exhale and the signaling of more relaxation in the body. We welcome it. And we allow the energy to flow up and up and up and out the crown of our head. See, feel, and imagine this long line of energy flowing out the crown and flowing back down through the body, through the soles of the feet. We are connected. For God goes with us wherever we go, in our body, in our experience, in our thoughts, and we are grateful for it. Now let that energy flow back down through the crown, across the third eye, down the throat, across the shoulders. Notice if there's any tension there. Send the breath there, relax it. Send the energy down the arms, out the fingertips. See, feel, imagine yourself as a completely open channel where God is and all is well. Scan your body one last time. Notice, again, no judgment. If you're holding on, send the breath there. Send God there. You may keep the palms turned down to ground yourself even more, or turn the palms up to receive more. Whichever decision you choose, God is here and all is well. I will monitor the time. you take the inward journey. And if the mind wanders, becomes fearful, doubts, bring it back to the affirmative thought. Bring it back to the truth that God goes with you wherever you go. It never leaves you. Let it be with you now. God goes with us all, wherever we go. We accept this truth. We allow this truth now. With our eyelids still closed, we remember that deep within us is all of the love, all of the power, all of the peace available to us at any time. With our eyes still closed, we remember that this connection can never be severed, and therefore there is nothing to fear. We remember that we are one with God, one of God, and that God is moving in, through, and as us at all times. We let this knowing be our reality now, and we bring this knowing back with us. If the palms are turned up, turn them down. And from this place of connection, feeling the tops of the thighs, that brings us even more present. Inhale, draw the shoulders up by the ears. Full breath as release the shoulder blades back and down, breathing through the nostrils, slowing everything way down. Inhale, shoulders up by the ears. Nice feeling of opening the spine, releasing the breath, and relaxing the shoulders. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale as we release the shoulder blades back and down. Bring the palms together at heart center. Touch the thumbs into the sternum. Bow the chin towards the fingertips if you are able. And just pause to notice that the energy, the presence, and the power and the peace of God is still available. No amount of movement or thought or worry or doubt or fear can separate us from it. We come back to it at every moment, at every breath. Inhale, Raise the chin, raise the gaze. Nice soft gaze. Release the breath. Maintain the connection and maintain the peace. Namaste.
Yes, yes. Namaste. Thank you, PY.
You're welcome.
As a reminder, the meditations air again every Monday on our YouTube channel at 12 noon. And the playlist is there. And so you can access all of the meditations for this year. And there are also a playlist for all the meditations from last year. Use it, make use of it, because it's very necessary. This beautiful, beautiful practice of meditation. So we are in a new month, which means we are in a new series. And our series this month is Crisis Proof Faith, Building Spiritual Strength Before You Need It Most. I think this is a necessary moment. There was, in my mind, in my schedule, I had a different series for this month, and being our anniversary month. But I think with all that's taking place and all that's taking place in our country and in our world, and knowing where everyone is in their thoughts and feelings and emotions, this is the right series for this time. So I look forward to beginning this. We have 5 weeks this month, which is good because we can really go deep. But before we get into the message, we are going to hear from Soul 21 with a very timely song. And then I will be with you on the other side with today's message. The time to prepare is now.
But at the end of the story, you win. Hear the words, hear this truth, hear this truth.
Plans you made have not worked out.
That's how it ends? That's how it ends. I want to make sure I hear what I'm saying. Yes! I'm giving you the end. You may be in the middle right now. I'm telling you how it's going to end. So you can celebrate. So you can get excited right now about how it's going to end. That's how it ends? You will win.
Yes, yes. The book of your life isn't closed. Turn to your next miracle. Access your faith and grab hold because you win. Something in my mind, I heard it this week that we needed to hear this song because what I see out here in the world, folks have forgotten the truth of the story, right? We may be in the middle of some things right now. We're in a chapter in the story, and we don't like this chapter. But what I know to be true is that the book that I read from, the book of my life and the book of your life, says that we win. And so I invite you to come back to this song as much as you need to be reminded of that, right? That life responds to what you say. So speak the word, have faith, believe, miracles you will achieve. Open your arms and receive. You win, you win, you win. Well, I am so happy to be here with you again on another Sunday. I'm getting over some kind of something, releasing it. So I may just indulge me. I may have to drink more water than usual, and I'm got my cough drop. But how I feel is not who I am, and so the I am within me is my strength. The I am within me is my power and will lead me and guide me in this moment. So I'm excited about this sermon series, and I'm excited about what we're going to share today. Before we get into the sermon, first let me say hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is good and always good. And I would love for you to join me in this centering prayer, to repeat after me these words. Okay. I'm not sure if you all could hear me, so I'm going to rewind and go back because I just saw that I wasn't seeing the meter level. So hello, happy Sunday, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are, it is good. And I'm happy to be here with each and every one of you on this Sunday. And so I invite you here and now to join me in our centering prayer as we use this prayer to take us into our sermon and our series for this month. I welcome the Spirit of truth into my mind and let it grow in my heart. Thank you, God, in me, through me, and as me. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, as we are in our anniversary month, and we will be celebrating 12 years of CSC this month, I'm thinking so much and reflecting so much. I get into this posture every March. And one of the things that I was thinking about over this past week is one of the things that I love about CSC. I love that CSC is multi-generational. Right? We skew on the younger side in terms of spiritual communities in general, but we are multi-generational. And so I would love, I'm going to call out the years of the generations, and I would love for you to shout yourself out. You can give me a heart, a thumbs up, a yes, yes, or me, whatever you want to do to represent yourself. So I know we have some baby boomers in the space, right? Baby boomers are those that were born between 1946 and 1964. So if you identify as a baby boomer, give me a heart, give me a yes, yes, give me a thumbs up, give me a me, whatever it is you want to do, just so we represent. I think it's beautiful for us to see the generations that are actually represented as part of the CSC community. Now, after the baby boomers, then we have my generation and PY's generation, which is Generation X, anyone born between 1965 and 1980. If you're a Gen Xer, give me a yes, yes, give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, give me something. I'm seeing the hearts coming in, right? I'm seeing them coming in. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I know we have a whole lot of millennials in the CSC community. So millennials are those that were born between 1981 and 1996. If you are a part of that generation, whether you're a young millennial or a part of the older millennial crowd, because sometimes there's a difference. Give me a heart, give me a yes, yes, give me a thumbs up, give me a hello, it's me. We see the hands going up. And then we have Gen Z. That's my daughter's generation. Anyone that was born in between 1997 and 2009. The Gen Z folks, we love y'all. If Gen Z is in the house, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a yes, yes. Let me know that you're here. Now, there may also be, I'm thinking about my niece and nephew, there may be some Gen Alphas in the space, anyone born between 2010 and 2024. If there are any Gen Alphas watching right now, give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, give me a yes, yes. I love this. I'm seeing the yes, yeses coming in. I'm seeing the hearts coming in. It's wonderful to see that, right? And so it's interesting to me that the term Gen X, it's credited to and was popularized by a writer by the name of Douglas Copeland. In 1987, in Vancouver Magazine, he wrote an article, and that was where we first saw this idea of Gen X. And of course, then that led us to Gen Z and now Gen Alpha, and starting in 2025, now Gen Beta. And there's something that Douglas Copeland wrote that has nothing to do with that article or his coining of the phrase Gen X, but it's the reason that he sticks in my mind and is someone that I think of often. In one of his novels, he wrote in 2011, The Gum Thief. And you've probably heard me quote this many times. If you haven't heard me quote it, you may have seen me post it on social media. In fact, as we're talking about our anniversary, back in 2013 in our first services, we used to have a slideshow similar to the slideshow that happens in our streaming services now, where it would be announcements and inspirational quotes. And this was one of the quotes that was a part of that pre-service slideshow. And the quote says simply this: if you don't have a spiritual practice in place when times are good, you can't expect to suddenly develop one during a moment of crisis. I'm going to read that again. If you don't have a spiritual practice in place when times are good, you can't expect to suddenly develop one during a moment of crisis. Now, this quote will be our anchor. This is what will support us this month in our series, Crisis Proof Faith, Building Spiritual Strength Before You Need It Most. Now, I recognize some may hear that quote and you might just hear it and be like, or that's something. Others may hear the quote and choose to give up. because you may be in a moment of crisis right now. You may be experiencing some sort of turmoil, and you hear you can't expect to suddenly develop a spiritual practice during a moment of crisis, as a signal to not even try. But what should be clear is that in a moment of crisis, in a moment of turmoil, you need a spiritual practice, which is what this quote is inviting us to understand. But it's also inviting us to understand that the time to develop the spiritual crisis is not when our back is against the wall, because it's much harder to do it then. This is the reason that one of the guiding principles of Celebration Spiritual Center is daily spiritual practice is not an option. We recognize the immeasurable gift of a daily spiritual practice, or DSP. And we recognize that the gift of a daily spiritual practice is not so you can manifest, and not so that you can prevent unwanted things from occurring in your life. Because the reason that your DSP cannot be optional is because crises will show up. Your DSP cannot be optional because you will find yourself in turmoil from time to time. Your daily spiritual practice cannot be optional because unwanted things, unwanted people, and unwanted experiences will show up in your life. Your daily spiritual practice cannot be optional because you or someone you love will receive a life-changing diagnosis. But your daily spiritual practice will support you in navigating all of the twists and turns, the wanted and the unwanted, of this human experience. Now, we are at the start of week 7 of the Felon-in-Chief's administration. As promised, this administration has inflicted pain and chaos on our government, on federal workers, on American citizens, and people all around the globe. In the midst of this, we're experiencing rising grocery prices, food supply shortages, bird flu, measles outbreaks, and although it may no longer dominate the news cycle, the aftermath of the fires in Los Angeles is an ever-present reality for countless families, and this is also true for those whose homes and property were destroyed in the hurricanes last year. I think it's safe to say that collectively, we are in a full-blown crisis. But then there's the individual level. Many are living with long COVID or other health challenges, some related and not related to the COVID pandemic. Many are struggling to keep their heads above water and make ends meet. Many are grieving the loss of loved ones. Many are navigating mental health challenges. Many are dissatisfied with the state of their lives and are trying to figure out what's next. And so we hear this quote again. If you don't have a spiritual practice in place when times are good, you can't expect to suddenly develop one during a moment of crisis. And so my simple message to you today, whether you are in a moment of crisis or not, whether you are affected by the collective crisis or experiencing an individual crisis, the time to prepare is now. Now, I won't sugarcoat this. If you have not had a spiritual practice in place, or if it's been a while, or if it's raggedy and it's sometimey, it might be difficult and uncomfortable in the beginning. And this is why this quote from Douglas Copeland is saying that you can't suddenly develop one. It's not that you cannot develop one. Rather, it simply means that you're going to have to be patient with yourself. It means that you're going to have to give yourself some grace, because it is not going to be a sudden practice. See, the thing that I love about the daily spiritual practice, and I think this is important, because I see often that the daily spiritual practice is misapplied, right? Many of you are using your daily spiritual practice to manifest, right? Many of you are using your daily spiritual practice and using the 555 to acquire things, right? Or to change things. But that's not the point or the goal of the daily spiritual practice, right? The point and the goal is connection, right? The point and the goal is also to feed your heart and mind so that when you're in a moment of crisis, you have something to draw upon. And I may use this song next week, but I'm thinking of the song "God Looks Good as Me." Right? When I wrote that song, I was in an experience of crisis in my own mind. I was churning a bunch of thoughts in my mind, and once I became aware of the thoughts in my mind, those thoughts were not loving, they were not constructive, they were not beneficial, and they were definitely not thoughts that I would want to be made manifest. And so I stopped myself and said, Greg, what do you know to be true? And as I replied to myself, the lyrics of that song came forth. The truth is I'm perfect, whole, and complete. I remain as God created me. Truth is I'm wonderful, a miracle in 3D. Yes, yes, oh yes. God looks good as me. And so I was doing what Myrtle Fillmore invites us to do. Use the truth you know. See, when your back is against the wall, and I'm reminded, shout out to the Affirmative Prayer Mastermind. We just had our last class. I was sharing this with them in the class a few weeks ago, right? When your back is against the wall, you're not going to be able to access everything that you've ever read, right? But if you've been feeding your mind, if you've been feeding your spirit words of truth, there's something you're going to be able to draw on in that moment. That will support you in recognizing that you're not alone, that will support you, that you have strength, that you have power, that you have options. Otherwise, you're going to make choices from desperation. And so we recognize that then this is what our practice is designed to do. And so if you haven't had a regular practice, if it's sometimey, if it's raggedy, whatever that looks like, forgive yourself and set yourself free. This is not about judgment. But it is a recognition that now, as you are in the moment of crisis, it is going to be gradual, right? In your process of developing it. And as you move through the crisis, then it's going to be very important that when times are good, you are lockstep, right? Locked in and continuing with your daily spiritual practice, recognizing that it's going to benefit you when the inevitable winds and waves of life show up. So I want to share a story with you. It's a story about a little boy. He was walking home from school one day and he noticed a discarded plant on the curb. The plant was in bad shape. The leaves were brown and yellowed. The plant was slumped over and dry. But he decided to take the plant home because he wanted to take care of it. So he rushes home and he takes the plant to his bedroom. Then he goes to the kitchen and asks his mom for some water. He doesn't tell her what it's for, but proudly he takes the water to his room and begins to water the leaves of the plant. A few days go by and the plant is still in bad shape. He brings the plant to his mom with tears in his eyes, explaining how he wanted to take care of this dying plant and watering the leaves isn't making a difference. Seeing his pain, his mom says, "Oh, baby, watering the leaves won't heal the plant. You've got to water the soil." He looks puzzled. Water the soil? The dirt? She goes on to explain that we're not actually watering the soil. The water gets down to the roots so that the plant can get a drink of the water and receive nourishment. When you water the roots, the leaves and the stems get what they need to grow and turn green. Of course, the moral of this story is to water the root, or as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi says, water the root to enjoy the fruit. He writes, when life shows signs of decay, when civilization shows lack of possibility of any further advancement, Mother Nature takes care of this. The revival of understanding about life that when relative life begins to bring pressure on the individual, we turn to the absolute. Bring more energy from there, more intelligence from there, more happiness from there, more life from inside to support the outer life. The time to prepare is now. when the relative life begins to bring pressure on the individual, pressure on communities, pressure on groups of people, what is most necessary is that we go within, because it is there that we get more energy. It is there that we get more intelligence. It is there that we get more happiness. It is there that we get the very life, the sustenance that we need to support the outer life. And so what's happening here out in the world, what many people are doing, not understanding this, not understanding what's necessary in order to be able to stand firm in the midst of these crises and move through to the other side of these crises. Everybody's doing all these external things. I was remembering there was during the election cycle, there was Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris was being interviewed by Maria Shriver. And she was asking her, like, what do we do? What do you do? How do you stay calm? She's like, I'm out here, I'm taking edibles, I'm doing all the things, right? Nothing wrong with taking edibles, right? For fun. But if you're taking edibles to respond to the crisis, right, you're still going to be lost. And so what we know, if we take this metaphor of watering the root and take this metaphor of the plant, we know that in order for a plant to thrive, it needs three things. It needs water, earth, and sun. And so for you, the time to prepare, I want you to start to think about what your water, earth, and sun are. Now, first, your water is your daily spiritual practice, right? And if you're not familiar with the daily spiritual practice, at the end of the sermon, I'm going to tell you about that, how you can learn all about that, right? Very simple 15-minute practice. Your daily spiritual practice is the watering, and that needs to happen all the time. When I say all the time, consistently, every day, 15 minutes a day, no matter what, rain or shine, no matter what's happening, if you whatever your bank account looks like today versus what it looks like tomorrow versus what it looks like next week, right? Whether you're gainfully employed or unemployed, right? This is something that, just like brushing your teeth every day, you do your daily spiritual practice. That's the water. Now, the earth is your daily physical practice and the activities that are life supporting. And what's interesting about this, because when I say physical practice, I mean there are things that we must do in our outer life that support what we've been doing in our inner spiritual life. And so this has me thinking about even things, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not reading an article about sleep and sleep hygiene. And what's beautiful in the ways in which we have studies now that are really letting us understand and know the power of sleep and why that's so important, even when we think about, just for our general health, but even when we're thinking about weight loss and other things, right? When we think about physical activity as well, the best physical activity you could ever do is take a walk, right, each day, right? So it's not about working out or going to the gym or getting on a treadmill or lifting weights, right? But what are those things that are life supporting? And you find those things that are good for you, that feel good to you, excuse me. And then you have the sun. And we know that the sun, shines on all of Earth, right? And every being on Earth, every plant and animal, all of us, we all benefit from the sun. And what the sun represents is the vision you hold for your life. So while you're watering your root, right? And then the earth represents that physical aspect, right? Of daily physical activities and practice, right? What is the overall vision for your life? And this is where even in our reading today from the Daily Word, this idea of when I have a positive outlook on life, right? It's based on what you've made up in your own mind to believe. What we know to be true is that sense of optimism, that sense of tapping into hope for your own life and hope for what's possible for you, that leads to health outcomes that are beneficial. That leads to just a longevity of life. We see that over and over again, and there are studies that corroborate the spiritual idea, which is ancient, but now we've been able to study it, and we know it's true. So you have your water, you have your earth, you have your sun. This is how you prepare. You're going to need to tap into what that is on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, because outer life is not going to get any less complex. I've seen a lot of people posting about it recently, and it's really true. I think there's some folks that are stuck thinking that somehow we're going to go back to life in 2019. Like, oh, okay, we'll finally get through all of this and things will go back to normal, right? 2019 is gone. Right, all that our reality was, our pre-pandemic world, our, all of those things, like, and really, what is happening? Something new is being birthed. Right, we're seeing, and it's symbolic when we're seeing like different stores that are closing. I'm still lamenting. PY and I talk about it all the time. The Container Store, is closing. I saw that Joann Fabrics, right, is closing, right? And so those of us that are of a certain age, things that, Party City is gone, y'all. Like, I'm still trying to figure out where I'm gonna get balloons from. Like, so, those of us that are of a certain age, where these things that we've just relied on, that were always there, that always existed, right, are falling to the wayside. But we understand that metaphysically, right, that every ending is a new beginning, right? And so something is emerging, something is being born. And again, that's just a very factual statement. I'm not even getting into a deep esoteric idea of like birthing the new earth. We could talk about that, but I'm not going that far with this. I want you to see that as you're seeing certain things are ending, certain things are falling, certain things are closing, because new things are emerging. And this tracks with the astrology. It tracks with so many things in terms of the space that we're in right now in the world. So the time to prepare is now. I talked about this in the Prosper 2025 series in January, and I'll continue to do so. You and only you have the power to regulate your nervous system. This should actually be everyone's goal and on everyone's vision board. Because until your nervous system is regulated, you cannot actually make full use even of the tools of manifestation, because your system is functioning at a threat level, living from fight, flight, or freeze. And so even when you manifest, and I've experienced this in my life, manifested a whole bunch of stuff, and eventually it all went away. I reset back to where I really was in consciousness, right? Because I had not healed a bunch of things, right? I had a bunch of anger and unforgiveness and things going on that I needed to heal, right? And so this is why the time to prepare is now. So even if you think about the life that you want, you think about your biggest dream, you think about the things that you want to bring into manifestation as your life, the easiest way to do that is to start focusing on regulating your nervous system. And what's interesting as well, I know that folks out here with unregulated nervous systems, I can see it clearly, and I'll take a perfect example because this is recent, right? So on Friday, we had a national boycott, right? And I trust that many of you participated, PY and I participated. But what I found interesting was the way that people had something to say, right? As we moved towards the boycott, people wanted to criticize, oh, it's not going to happen, or oh, this isn't enough, whatever, right? And then on the day of the boycott, people wanted to talk about folks that were not boycotting, or all of these different things. But see, all of that is a manifestation of your operating from your ego and operating from fight, flight, or freeze, because it's like you're still looking for an enemy. Right? So it's like, I'm over here boycotting, but look at them over there. See, when your nervous system is regulated, it's live and let live. I'm choosing to do what I'm choosing to do based on my knowledge and information, my desire for the world that I want to see, my desire for the world that I want to co-create. And so, like last week, we talked about mind your business. Like, this is another layer of minding your business, but I'm minding my spiritual business. So I really don't have time to be looking for who or who is not participating because I'm too involved in what I'm participating in. Right? We talked about that idea last week about what you're entertaining. And so we recognize that this is very, very, very important. The time to prepare is now. Now, we are where we are in terms of the current occupant of the White House. We are where we are in terms of the many things that are outside of our direct control or influence. But where you have power and agency is your own mind. Where you have power, direct power and agency are your emotions. Where you have direct power and agency is how you respond to things. This is why one of the sermons in our study series for this month is shut down your reactors. When your nervous system is regulated, you respond, you don't react. And most of the time, what I've learned, that means I just hush. Right? Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? No, it's none of those things. Okay, I'm going to hush. And it reminded me, I saw this quote on social media, and I've seen this many times. If the ocean can return to stillness, so can you. So many of you may think that this idea, of a regulated nervous system is far-fetched. One of the reasons that we advocate the practice of the transcendental meditation technique is the fact that it's easy and it's effortless and it doesn't require belief. You can be a skeptic and will experience the benefits of this meditative practice, right? It only requires 20 minutes twice a day. If the ocean can return to stillness, so can you. So maybe you like the idea and it's like, I know I need to regulate. I want to regulate. I want to release these things. I hear you, PG, but it just seems like too much for me. It seems too far-fetched. This is where the principle of correspondence is wonderful because the ocean is no different than you. As turbulent as the ocean can be, the ocean experiences hurricanes. The ocean experiences monsoons. The ocean experiences all sorts of atmospheric calamity. If the ocean can return to stillness, so can you. And that's an important point because a lot of times when we hear nervous system regulation, we think that it means, some may think that it means that you're walking through life like, nothing bothers me. That's not what it is, right? It's the ability to rise. You experience every emotion, right? Having a regulated nervous system doesn't mean you don't get pissed off. Doesn't mean you don't get angry, but you also, your regulated nervous system knows that you don't act from anger. Right? Acting from anger is destructive. Feeling anger and being aware of it is instructive. And so I know that many of you may be feeling like your life is too busy. Like, listen, I can't be doing all this meditation and all this stuff, right? I just don't have the time. I invite you to hear the words of Dr. H. Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth. Quote her all the time, doing is secondary to being. But in that same passage, she says this, watch carefully, and you will find that there are some things, even in the active, unselfish doing, that would be better left undone than that you should neglect regular meditation. And so she's talking to people like you and people like me. I know you're out here being a beneficial presence in the world. I know that you're doing wonderful things. I know that you're taking care of people. You're taking care of your family. You're taking care of your children. You're taking care of loved ones. You're leading powerful careers. You're leading organizations. You're leading businesses, right? And so it's like, I don't have time to do this. And the things that I'm doing are actually wonderful. They're active, unselfish doings. But even that would be better left undone than that you should neglect regular meditation, regular connection. The time to prepare is now. And so in closing, I want to share something with you that I shared back in 2022. There was a sermon that I gave then in our Love God, Love You, Love People series. And the sermon was titled Before and After. And I want to bring this wisdom back to your mind today because it applies. In my opinion, one of the most profound things that we read about the life and ministry of Jesus, it's not the miracles that Jesus performed. For me, in my opinion, the most profound aspect of what we read about the ministry of Jesus is how he dealt with the many crises in his life. Many, M-A-N-Y, not M-I-N-I. The varied crises in his life. And you probably don't even think about that. Like, wait, Jesus had a bunch of crises? Actually, he did. He faced a lot of different things. And if we look in Luke 5:16, we see something interesting. We read, so he himself often withdrew into the wilderness and prayed. Now that line right there is telling us how Jesus dealt with crises and how he dealt with them in a spiritual way that's different, how he watered the root, right? That's different than the way that the world teaches us to focus on the external. Often withdrew into the wilderness and prayed. Withdrew. Love that word because that suggests that he retired, he retreated, he removed himself from participation, right? Into the wilderness and prayed. In another moment in Matthew, we read about after he heard that his first cousin, John the Baptist, was beheaded. This is awful news, crisis. It says, when Jesus heard it, he departed from there by boat to a deserted place by himself. There are over 20 verses across the canonized Gospels that show Jesus living this way. Sometimes it says he went out on the water. Sometimes he walked by the sea. I love that image because it reminds me of my daily walks. PY and I were just talking about this, my daily walks on the beach in Barbados. Sometimes he went out to the wilderness, as I read in the first verse. What this demonstrates to us is that the powerful way to move through crises is to have a practice of withdrawing, of retiring, of removing oneself from participation in the chaos so that one can be restored. And then what's interesting is, as I said, there are over 20 verses across the canonized Gospels that demonstrate this. It is always followed by then the profound demonstration. So the miracles required that preparation. The miracles required that going within. That miracles required the watering of the root. No human is immune from the varying crises of the human experience. What we as spiritual beings having a human experience must know and embrace is that our power comes from within. In order to know and make use of this power, we must connect with it daily and connect with it intentionally. Some may think you're being selfish. Some may not understand why you're not joining in as they complain about the state of the world or our country or their individual lives. But I'm reminded of the great character Morpheus in The Matrix. My beliefs don't require them to. You're not asking people to understand. What I know that people do understand, people understand results. What I do know that people understand, they understand outcomes that are good and beneficial. People will understand your calm in the midst of the storm. People will understand your access to the right choices and the right decisions in critical moments, in the moment of turmoil. People will understand who to call when they need support. And you will be able to support them lovingly because you're giving from your overflow. So you've been feeding yourself day in and day out. So you have the capacity to support someone else. The time to prepare is now. Lean into your daily spiritual practice. The goal is not to get something. The goal is to connect to the greater, deepest aspects of yourself, which we call God, which we call the divine, which we call source, which we call the universe. Use whatever name feels good to you. The goal is healing from the inside out, not watering the leaves thinking that they're going to stop turning brown, that they're going to change from brown to green, but to water the root. The goal is to, as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi says, to attend to your inner health and happiness. The goal is to plug in to power. Now, those of you, you may have been hearing about this for the very first time, and I said I would share this. I never want to be in a space of thinking everyone is already aware. Daily spiritual practice is not an option. Here at CSC, we teach a very simple way to do this, the 5-5-5 method, 15 minutes a day. And so go to YouTube. If you go to our YouTube channel on the homepage and you scroll down, there's a section called Classes and Workshops. The very first video in that section, Transform Your Day in Just 15 Minutes, the powerful daily spiritual practice of 5-5-5. Watch that video. PY and I break down all of the aspects, 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of affirmative journaling, and 5 minutes of inspirational reading, right? There's also a wonderful guide there. There's a study guide. There's recommended books. There's PY provides and actually demonstrates breathing exercises that you can use for your 5 minutes of meditation. So tap into that. Additionally, as we already shared, our study series of the month, that playlist, these sermons are powerful. As we're thinking about the time to prepare is now, these sermons will help you to prepare, right? I read through the list, sermons like I trained for this, right? It'll help you to prepare. Sermons like Walking the Path, inspired by the Matrix series, right? Sermons like PY's There's Gotta Be a Better Way. Oh my God, that's such a powerful sermon, right? And what she's sharing in that sermon is like the real life experiences that happen. And she was like, I cannot keep living this way. There's got to be a better way. She shares a powerful story. It's transforming, right? Her other sermon that's in that playlist, the in between. What do you do when you're not where you were, but you're not where you're going? And that can be very frustrating. And you start to judge yourself. How to navigate the in between. And there's so many other wonderful sermons in there. The time to prepare is now. There are zero indications that this current administration is going to change in some way. And so what we know is that we can prepare internally and develop our inner resilience so that we can withstand the storm, so that we can be there to support those that need support, so that we can be a beneficial presence, so that we can be a loving presence, so that we can make decisions in the moment that are the best decisions for us and our families. All of these things are critically important. I'm excited about where we're going for the rest of this series because there's so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things that we're going to share as we are focused on crisis-proof faith, building spiritual strength before you need it most. So to this truth, I say, amen, ashe, and so it is.
Ah, yes, yes. The time to prepare is now. And this is not to scare you into any activity or make you feel like you're forced. It is readiness. And that's all we're concerned about is your readiness and your ability to stand at any point in time, assess the situation, and respond accordingly.
Yes, yes.
So that's why we're saying the time to prepare is now. The time to develop a spiritual practice is now. We've been saying that for 12 years. Right? Because it's always an opportunity to prepare yourself for whatever is in front of you. We're not pretending that things don't happen in the external world. But how do we respond to what happens in the external world is what we're working on this month.
Absolutely.
How do we respond to it? We don't pretend it's not there, because in truth, that's a fearful response, and it's a frozen response, right? The brain is very interesting, and I don't want to get into too much of this detail about how the brain works, but our reptilian brain, our instinctual brain, is always assessing the environment for danger. It's always looking and scanning. Unconsciously, we don't do it. And in those instances where there have been danger, it has recorded those instances and a response and a reaction really within us. And we either fight, we flee, or we freeze. And any time a situation happens, whether it is really as detrimental as your brain is telling you or not, your body responds. We want to bring that level of response down, of reaction down, and really assess the situation. Our brain is constantly doing that. And everything that responds and happens in our body is a response to what our brain is doing and thinking. And so we want you to be prepared. We want you to have a regulated nervous system. And that can happen over time. It's not something that you have to like, oh my God, my nervous system isn't regulated, and you get more fearful.
Right.
No. How about working on the breath? Right? Because the breath signals the brain that everything's okay or not. Right? So we're saying develop this way of being, understanding that it's instinctual. The mind does that. It assesses. That reptilian brain operates. But we are an elevated response now in terms of how we assess a situation. We know how to do that. We're going to give you the tools. We've been giving you the tools. And so you're not going to be unprepared.
Right.
If you take the steps now.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Thank you, PG.
Thank you, PY. I'm seeing the question. Yes, all of the playlists that I refer to, everything is on YouTube. We don't maintain playlists on Facebook anymore, and we actually can't because Facebook deletes videos after 30 days now. So everything is on our YouTube channel. That's where we've curated all of our playlists around different topics and different things. But if you just go directly to our YouTube channel on that homepage, you'll see all sorts of playlists, but specifically under classes and workshops, you'll see the daily spiritual practice class, and you will see the sermons to get you through the storm.
Right. And if your brain is telling you, oh my gosh, I'm not ready, take the breath. Remember what is true. God is with you wherever you go. There's no place where God is not. And so that means that your truth is right here where you are. Just turn in the direction of it and let the breath guide you to it.
Yes, yes. And so in this moment, it is time for giving. It's very easy to give to CSC. You can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/give, or you can text your dollar amount to 347-744-9500. There is a $10 minimum to text to give. But what we know to be true and what we will continue to say and what we have been teaching since we opened the doors of CSC is that as you give, you receive. That giving financially is just like giving of your breath, right? When you exhale, you've now put yourself in the posture to now receive on the inhale. And that's the way our circulating our finances really works. And that's from a place of consciousness, right? So we must know that we're never giving away our money, right? We're never spending our money in a finite way like, oh, this is my $20 and it's gone, right? But we're actually circulating it. And so circulation means that it always comes back. Circulation means that giving is like a boomerang, and the return is based on the thoughts. The return is not based on the amount of money. So each and every week, we continue to remind you of this, and then we can affirm together with confidence, all the money that I circulate
All the money that I circulate
returns to me multiplied
returns to me multiplied
in a never-ending cycle
in a never-ending cycle
of increase
and
enjoyment.
And enjoyment.
To that truth, we say amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Yes, yes. Well, we appreciate each and every one of you. So grateful and thankful to begin this month, our anniversary month, in this way. If you think that this series is something that will resonate with others, as we know that so many people are moving through a host of things, right? We know, in our community specifically, there are those that experience the fires in LA. In our community specifically, we know that there are those that are being affected by the forced resignations and layoffs of federal workers. We have that happening in our families, and our loved ones, et cetera. So we know there's so much going on. And so if there's someone that you think this will resonate with, by all means, share it or invite them to join us next Sunday as we continue to support you in developing crisis-proof faith, developing and building the spiritual strength before you need it most. We look forward to gathering together on Wednesday for the Momentum Prayer Call, and then we will be back together here next Sunday for the weekend service. We love and appreciate y'all. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday and an even better week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.